What was a fact that you regret knowing? From my first job at KFC, you can't really tell the chicken is spoiled once you put it in the fryer. A friend that used to work at KFC said that they were told not to throw away the spoiled chicken. They would just boil it before frying, so yeah. No more KFC for me. If you live in a high-traffic area, it's almost a promise that the food is as fresh as possible. I imagine things like this usually only happen in very slow towns where stock is never sold out by the next truck shipment. Just helping you out. If you stopped eating at every place that had some sort of isolated horror story, you'll have nowhere to eat. Cockroaches can fly at 5 km/h and can live 3 weeks without their head. They eventually die of starvation. They have a main brain in their head and also a primitive brain near their abdomen. Cockroaches also predate grass. The last one is not that scary but kinda scary knowing they've been here so long, so getting them out will be harder and they will probably outlive humans. Edit reworded some stuff. Oh lord, I hate them so much and wish I hadn't read this. Dolphins will use a pufferfish to get high, sucking on the poison they excrete. Alternately, they will also use fish as a fleshlight, and effectively fuck them to death to get their jollies. Monkeys/baboons are also known to do this, but with frogs/toads instead. Nature is so beautiful. Edit, I serviced my mom's car and came back to 5k worth of upvotes. Lamo, thanks for the upvotes, thanks for the awards. I never thought that my knowledge on animal fellatio would get me so much karma. Nice one, Reddit. ITT, dolphins are fucked up. Just like humans. The magnitude of how dirty hotel rooms are. The worst part of this for me is that I worked in housekeeping at a hotel one summer when I was in high school. Maybe that particular hotel was just really good at keeping the place clean and was an exception, but I do have to wonder how much crap I just never noticed because I was a dumb teenager. Sorta cliche, but there are millions and billions of living organisms on your body, so to them, you are their galaxy. That's kinda romantic. Your butt is their wormhole to another galaxy. Tapeworm faces are absolutely terrifying. Jesus Christ. Why'd you make me Google that, so I wouldn't be the only one with that awful knowledge? Lol. That my girlfriend once sucked her friend's husband's penis when she went to the bathroom yesterday. Don't put yourself through the pain of trying to continue the relationship. I've made that mistake before and it isn't fucking worth it. Leave her and find someone better. Also, the wife needs to know too, unless you don't think she can handle the news. Fuck cheaters. I'm just kinda done with it all. More people have tapeworms than dogs. That makes them the most popular pet. The most popular common pet. Ain't no tapeworm cuddle pictures on the front page of r/or, yet. Before I found this site I was just like you. I had friends. I had a social life. I had a mild drinking problem. Greater than mild drinking problem, sure. Had. When David Foster Wallace hanged himself on his back porch, he tied his hands together with duct tape so that even if he changed his mind at the last minute, he wouldn't be able to escape. He had been struggling with severe mental health issues for more than a decade, so it was sad but not surprising when he finally succeeded in committing suicide. I just wish I didn't know the detail about the duct tape. That's not the first I heard of a suicide like this. Growing up we heard of a teenager who stuffed cotton balls up his nose, crammed Kleenex in his mouth, and then tied a plastic bag around his head and handcuffed his hands behind his back so there would be no escape. A man named Richard Sumner decided to commit suicide by handcuffing himself to a tree. When his body was found it was obvious he regretted this decision. Unfortunately he threw the key just out of reach. Male ducks gang rape female ducks. Male and female ducks are also in an evolutionary arms race to develop more and more convoluted genitals to prevent/enable the rape. I am not kidding. Female ducks develop more and more convoluted vagina shapes to make it more difficult, and males respond by developing ever longer explosive spiraling corkscrew dicks. The females that can control when they mate, only relaxing their vaginal shape when it's consensual, are more successful, and the males who are better at raping are more successful, in the sense of passing on their genes / having more living offspring, so they just keep evolving in that direction. NSFW male, dick pic https://i.imager.com/xjuge.jpg, and an article. https://www.discovermagazine.com/planet Earth/ballistic penises and corkscrew vaginas, the sexual battles of ducks, edit. So, now my top 2 comments are about penises. That's okay. I would like to add to this one, most birds don't have penises at all and just do a cloacal kiss. One of the others that has dicks is ostriches. And, theirs look like giant human tongues. https://i.imager.com/parhags.jpg, in case you wanted to know. I hate that my curiosity got the better of me. I will be donating my eyes now, edit. I can't believe that my most upvoted contribution to Reddit is about a duck's horrifying dick. Actor Daniel von Bargen, Super Troopers, Seinfeld, attempted suicide by shooting himself in the temple with a .38 revolver. He was diabetic and didn't want to go to the hospital for another amputation. Unfortunately, he survived and was severely wounded. He also was permanently blinded from the gunshot. There's a transcript of the police call that left me shook. He passed away 3 years later from a battle with diabetes. I remember reading this is why some people duct tape the gun to their hand if they attempt suicide in case the first shot doesn't complete the job. Edit, for those asking why the duct tape. I believe the idea is that you can damage the part of your brain that affects your vision but not die from it. Then you are possibly disabled, blind, and in pain but unable to finish what you started if you dropped or lost the gun. Not much fun to think about. Had a family friend that failed to kill himself that way, also managed to blow his jaw off. If things were bad before that, my date of birth is exactly 9 months after my dad's birthday. Man, wait until you learn about why November is a popular birth month. My mom's birthday is the day after Valentine's Day and I am a November baby, so double whammy on that one. Also, I was born on their anniversary and my younger sister was born 2 years and 9 months to the day after I was, so my parents definitely got it on my birthday that year. There are regulations on how much ground up cockroach may be in coffee. Not if. How much. Same goes for a ton of things. Flour, rice, etc. acceptable amounts. It's legit unavoidable. This we had trouble getting Israeli couscous for several months. My rep told me the last couple shipments had more than the allowed amounts of rodent hair or bug parts per pound to pass inspection. The fact that at literally any second you could lose someone you love. Everyone knows this, but once it's happened a few times you're acutely aware of it. A car wreck, a miscarriage, a heart attack, stroke. Edit, I posted this comment before going to bed at the end of a 12-hour night shift. Definitely didn't expect this to resonate like it has with you folks. I really appreciate all the messages from people checking to make sure I'm okay. While I may not know all you commenters' pains, I empathize with you guys and girl. I hope everyone takes a few extra seconds to let the people you love know how much you care. Add to this how easily your entire life can be thrown off track and essentially ruined. One car accident, one divorce, one job loss, one terrible diagnosis. We all walk along the edge of a precipice. The lucky ones are the people who are unaware of this because none of those terrible things have happened to them yet. My dad and I both took DNA tests for fun and I found out we aren't related. 0% match. Life hacks for when you don't want to tell your child directly they're adopted. The way rabies kills, once you have symptoms, you're already dead. This is why when I was scratched by a bat earlier this year I made sure to get the treatment ASAP. Not fucking around with that. One time my university sent out a whole campus alert that someone saw a girl get attacked by a bat and they wanted to make sure she got help. There was an experiment once where, every hour, a rat had to choose between getting fed or having the pleasure nerve of its brain stimulated. And the rat being tested starved every time. It's pretty interesting but also kind of sad. Thanks, Freeman's mind. Yes, but for those experiments, they keep the rats isolated in cages with nothing else to do. So of course they choose that option all the time. This is the important part that often goes ignored. Rats are extremely social and only fall to addiction when in social isolation. When they are in a group, they will happily choose food. Says something about the circumstances of drug use in social mammals. An octopus penis is actually one of their tentacles. So if you would go and pet an octopus at SeaWorld or some other place, you could be groping their penis. This happened in Dragon Ball Super. Goku really shook an alien's dick, man face palming. Chainsaws were originally meant to be a surgeon's instrument. To aid in childbirth. No joke, Google it. This is going to give me nightmares until menopause. Aneurysms can happen to anyone at any time for no reason and can burst at any time for no reason. I'm actually taking a break from studying about aneurysms. I had a patient before that had a known aneurysm and didn't want to have surgery. Fast forward, it ruptured and was life-flighted to a hospital, and she begged the doctor to help her. He said there's nothing we could do, and that's the first time I've actually seen someone's soul leave their body. She spiritually died when he said that. The next day she was dead. Poor lady was so sweet and nice. Never know what a day will bring. Her daughter just stood at the doctor like, "So can you help her?" He repeated what he said, and it took the daughter a few minutes to cope what he said. That was probably the first time I cried at work, had to walk to the break room. My mom had a brain aneurysm. She died on the table. They brought her back, then she stroked out a day later and died again. They brought her back again. This was 28 years ago. Portland, or she remembers leaving her body on the table both times. And that wasn't horrible, she said. Her recovery was difficult. She had to relearn absolutely everything. I remember taking her to the grocery store to grab something, and I left her in the car for a minute. She couldn't figure out how the seat belt worked, so I knew she wouldn't wander off. She lost her ability to laugh, her sense of humor. Still not there. But thankful to have her. The vessel busted when she was gardening, pulling bulbs out of the ground. My fear is potential genetics of it. She may be different now, but I love her so much and she's my hero. Horses masturbated by hitting their 1-meter-long dong against their bellies. Female horses rub against wooden poles, and end up with splinters 10 centimeters long in their coochie. Greater than horses masturbated by hitting their 1-meter-long dong against their bellies. Not just horses. https://www.youtube.com/watch. V equals biz7jcf5thm and T equals 31s, NSFW obviously. That link is staying blue. That anesthesia doesn't always works. My colleague donated one of his kidneys to his brother and he experienced the entire operation without being able to move or scream. Pain and all. Took many months of therapy moving on from this. My wife's epidural worked on only one side when we had our first child. She said it was the worst tease and worst distraction of her life. This happened with both my sister and I's second kids. She stood her ground and got more drugs. They tried to convince me I was just feeling the pressure of the contractions, which I was confusing with pain. My second came too quickly after that for me to fix anything. My epidural also failed on one side with my first, but after she came, I quickly realized I could feel the doctor stitching me up on one side, but I was so exhausted I just told her to keep going and be quick about it. My parents are swingers, and now well into their 70s. So you know that old folks' homes have the highest percentage of STDs, as they won't have to worry about getting pregnant. My great-aunt started going senile and was put in a nursing home for the last few years of her life. My family kept getting calls from the management complaining she was visiting all the other residents, and didn't like us saying good on her. The youngest recorded person to give birth was 5 years old. Edit, for those asking, here's the link https://n.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/Lena_Medina. Jesus, she had her first period at 8 months of age and the doctors who helped her give birth confirmed she had fully mature genitals. Even so, why is no one wondering what sick fuck got her pregnant? That poor girl. Because your body uses vitamin C to make collagen, which holds your skin together and makes scar tissue. When you get scurvy, your old wounds reopen. Men don't like skinny scars. Real scars have scurvs. That dolphins gang rape. It's also widely believed that the males will commit infanticide. They will kill babies to free up the mother to mate with them. Lions will do the same. That you have to clean lumps out from underneath a horse's foreskin from time to time. No. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Go do it now. Doctors performed surgeries on infants without anesthesia until the 80s. They thought the babies couldn't feel pain. Edit, for those asking me medical questions, I have absolutely no idea. I don't even remember where I saw this fact, but I just always have remembered it. Plus where I got the fact from was referencing open heart surgery on an infant. And adding a source. However, surveys of medical professionals indicate that as recently as 1986 infants as old as 15 months were receiving no anesthesia during surgery at most American hospitals. This was the NY Times. So there is a good possibility it is still happening in other countries. Also, thanks for the wholesome awards, you weirdos. Stay wacky. The crying, thrashing, and screaming didn't tip them off. On the other hand, of course, it may have been crying from sheer temper. Children sometimes do. The strange pistachio you get every few nuts, the one that tastes a bit funny, is because a navel orange worm. https://www.gardeningknowhow.com/wp-content/uploads/2013/09/navelorangeworm.jpg died inside of it. Sorry. Just think about eating its cute furry head next time. I just ate half a bag last night, and I had several weird ones. Fuck. Such a weird flavor. Absolute chaos followed by a raisiny aftertaste. Proud of my body for processing it. Protein is protein.